Hi everyone, this is Larry Jeepingmo, and today we're going to build a riser in the back of our Jeep JL. It'll be a single drawer riser that you can expand off later. You can add refrigerators on top of it. You can add other drawers, whatever you're looking for. And the nice thing about it is you don't have to drill anything into your Jeep. It'll all go into stock locations. So if you want to take it out, you put it back in and you've not cut up your back of your Jeep. And while we do it, I'll show you some other ways to buy your materials. The material supplier who, while he's not sponsoring us, here in the St. Louis area, if you reference Jeepingmo, you get a discount on your materials. And I'll show you some pretty cool tools to fabricate some of this stuff. Alright, so with that, let's dig in. It'll be all aluminum, so you'll have fairly low weight. Obviously the slides aren't aluminum, but other than that, it'll be a pretty clean build. And let's get it prepped and start getting all this stuff welded together. Alright, so we got everything cleaned up the edges, got it all stainless brushed, wiped down with acetone. So now we're going to get everything tacked together. So we'll do this in parts. So let's clamp them down so they don't warp. You'll see a video on this weld table / weld cart coming in the next few weeks. We have to preheat a little bit. It's 5 degrees outside and we don't keep the garage that warm. So we're just going to put 3 tacks on it. I want to get it together, make sure it's what we want before I weld this thing up. Remember, we got 2 of these to build, and then we got to fit them out in the Jeep. Now we did pick up the material for the very top. I did go with that diamond plate versus just I'll say just a blank piece of aluminum. I thought it would add a nice look. You can still bolt down to the top of that. I'm not worried about that at all. We bought all of our material at Metal Supermarkets of St. Louis. Really good crew. You can buy cut to order or it's remnants. We got a little of both. So if you need little pieces, you can go through their remnants, or if you have a specific size, you can do that as well. And they're offering anybody who references Jeepingmo a discount on their materials. They're not sponsoring us, but it's pretty cool that they're doing that. I'll leave all the information in the descriptions below. So we have to make some spacers, and these are going to go in place where these tie downs are at in the back of your JL. And these will go in. We'll weld these thick fender washers to a piece of this 3/4 inch tubing. That'll be the risers off the frame. And then start getting it together. Alright, so one thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drill out these washers. I want them fairly close to size. I'm sure you could custom buy a fender washer, but I wanted these thick ones. So we're just going to measure the bolts. They're metric, so 305. We'll go 5/16, which is 312. We'll get these all drilled out and then cut the tube. Alright, to get the spacers all welded together, I'll just do 2 assemblies at once. Washer, spacer, washer, washer. I'll just snug it up and I'll put the whole thing in the vise. And that way I can just go through and I can get them tacked and welded. These and the slides will be the only steel in there. Everything else should be aluminum. Alright, so we got the spacers made. When you pull up the tie-down rings, you'll have this little metal spacer in there. I just sat these right on top of it. And we only made 4 because I wanted to make sure that the center one is tight. So we'll get these drilled, get the plate on top, and then get the box built. And this will be nice when the soft top goes on. It'll be a secure drawer as well. When you're wiping down your aluminum, don't forget to prep your TIG rod as well. There's a lot of oxide on it. We found this tungsten grinding attachment and then mounted it to a Harbor Freight grinder. Works really well. I would normally be on a higher frequency, but this being 1/4" material and I'm running out of amperage and no helium. I love these clear Edge Welding Systems cups. Makes it easy to see. That ESOP Sentinel helmet came with a plasma cutter we bought. Kind of partial to it. I only use it when I TIG weld though. Here we're drilling the mounting holes for the plate that's got to go on the top. Little 1032 tapped holes. Alright, so we got it set so that it's 34 inches front and rear. And then we're going to use what's called a transfer screw. We got these little 1032 tapped holes that'll hold the tread plate down. And this is the big version of it. This is for a 5/8 11. but you screw them in. They got a little point on them. So what we'll do is we'll screw these into those threaded locations. All right, so how these are used, these transfer screws, they look like set screws. There's a hex on one end that fits into the body. Then that's used to screw down inside. You set it just above the surface, and when you set whatever on top of it and you hit it, it dimples it. I didn't have them shear this piece. At the time I wasn't sure about what size I needed for the top. It was easier just to plasma cut it to set the size. Make sure I'm close to square. I love this plasma cutter. It's a little easier than a cutoff wheel, but there's a little more slag on the backside. Still an easier cut than the cutoff wheel. Alright, so I've got it in. Just got it held by a couple clamps. So now you just go through here and just give it a little tap. Alright, and then there's one. It'll tell me exactly where I need to drill. It's a pretty easy way to spot those holes. And we just screw this in. Got to build the under supports. Then we tackle the drawer. We had to break the video up in 2 pieces, otherwise it'd be way too long. But if you like this type of content, check out some of our videos. Next week we'll do the drawer and we'll finish the whole assembly, put the slides in. So if you like this, please remember to share it. We'll put Metal Supermarkets information in the descriptions for your discounts. So until next week and the finish of the build, this is Jeepingmo.